together.
बस कीजिए, बहुत हो गया।
You will be happy to know that I have
और वो भी डिलीवरी से पहले।
मैं इस बात को जरूर मानता हूं कि मैं कई ऐसे काम करता हूं जिन्हें कानूनी नहीं कहा जा सकता। वो इसलिए कि मुझे जो सही लगता है मैं करता हूं, वो चाहे भगवान के खिलाफ हो, समाज के खिलाफ हो, पुलिस, कानून या फिर पूरे सिस्टम के खिलाफ क्यों ना।
तुम कितने साल के हो?
6, 4, 64. तुम?
3, 4, 34.
34. Very good.
64. Very young.
And introducing Amitabh Bachchan.
In the morning we saw Pa, and now we have the director of Pa with us. Before I call him to the stage, I have to say that he's really a gift to Hindi cinema because he introduces a new sexuality, a new morality, and a new sensibility. Chini Kam, according to me, is not just the story of an older man and a younger woman. There are many layers to it. It is the story of many unresolved things, the desire to express and having the liberation to express yourself, and the audience accepting it. He engages us in the characters where we are not judgmental of the characters and wanted to have a happy ending. Pa, again for me, is not just about progeria. And a film on such a subject can so easily get pedantic or very serious or morbid or boring. On the contrary, it is about human relationships, about beloveds, about parent and child. I love the scene where Vidya Bhavan tells the mother in the garden how it is explained about what progeria is, and so humorously. It's my privilege to call upon stage R. Balki. Usually, when ad filmmakers get into feature films, they have great gloss and technology wizards, but they lack soul. But Balki combines substance and soul. Before we talk about the other 2000 movies, I'm going to say something, Mr. Bachchan, with your permission. Pardon my audacity. Pa is a very difficult role. It's a very different subject. But no matter how good an actor you are, it is easy for you to create it once the script is ready, once the character is ready. What I need to know is, how did you conceive it? Why did you think of such a story? And how were you able to put it on paper? We want to know a little more on how you conceived it and how you executed it. Everybody wants to know. In fact, there is a DVD of about 15 minutes on the making of Pa, which is it the same one which had come on the TV?
No, it is.
It's an unseen one, which actually we wanted to show it today, but because of wrong communication, it did not happen. But we promise, Pranav, Jimmy, make sure that at the next Sunday film or whenever we are organizing another QA with Balki, we have to see that. I want to see it too. G, can you tell us about how you conceived
How this
it?
happened? It was actually a very freaked accident. I mean, it was like I had gone to meet Amaji at his house to discuss something in the post-production of Chini Kam. And he was actually, he was just there, and Abhishek walked in. And Abhishek was one of those rare, he was meaning what he was saying, So he was just like looking at him very seriously and saying some wise things. And Abhishek was looking at him, playing the fool, saying something. And just something crossed my head, maybe some birth. This guy must have been his son, that guy must have been his father, something. So if I ever make a film, I'd try and switch roles. I had no idea about Project, I had no idea about anything else. And I told Amarji 4 days after that something, I think one day we should do a film like this. And we both laughed it off, thought it was a fantasy film. And then it just kind of kept in my head, it was there for some time. Then I said, if it has to be done, it has to be a realistic film. It must be possible. It's not a fantasy film. And I remember a friend of mine, his kid at that point of time had some hormonal issues, kind of started growing faster. So I asked him, he had asked me to get some medicines from London when I had gone. So I asked him, what is this kind of, I just thought it would be an excuse to kind of latch on to. He said, no, he's cured and all this stuff. I said, no, he's absolutely fine. But I'll put you in touch with a pediatrician friend of mine. So I called the doctor up, and that guy said, there is an illness like this, it's called progeria. There are a lot of versions of progeria. And he asked me to Google it, and I found out. Then I spoke to the Progeria Research Foundation. I actually found out about the disease after deciding to switch their roles. Then I found a very valid reason to do that. So that's why from the beginning, the film in my head was not about progeria. It was about a boy. And
Because I remember watching it with somebody, and I was watching it for the second time, and the person said, oh, but this is not just about progeria, and they were so relieved.
yeah, but I must tell you one more thing about the film. We've come this far, and I discussed this with Amarji, and he said, yeah, fantastic. Both of them were very excited. So I went away to write, and with the full arrogance of, a writer who can kind of flip these things. So I spent about a month and a half, 2 months, and I finished the script, and I came to Amarji. And at full excitement, that I was, and he opened, he asked me to read a bit, and I said, you read the whole stuff. And one day he read we met again. And he asked me, I thought he'd be really excited, and I'd written a masterpiece. He looked at me and said, you sure you want to do this? I said, yeah, we've all been excited about this stuff. Yeah, conceptually fine. You want to do this? I'd written it very, very frivolously. It was a completely different story from what you see. With the same concept of father and son, but completely, it was almost like a light, frivolous film. There no depth, nothing. He looked at me and said, this has the power to be he quoted, could be Muqaddar ka Sikandar, it could be this, it could be that, it has scenes, potential to do all this kind of stuff. But you just dealt with it very lightly. You're still in the Chini Kam frame of mind. I was actually, it's very difficult for a writer to take criticism, but he was very gentle about it, but he was criticizing me. But at the end of it, I just looked at him and I said, he still asked me, you want to do it? I said, yeah, I definitely want to do it. If you still want to do it, we'll do it. Just give it a thought. Okay? And I went away and I said, he's anyway choosing bad scripts these days, so he does not know anything else. So I just went away very angry. But 10 days I sat back and I was like, then suddenly it hit me. I said, what a crap film. And it was really rubbish. And one day I will share that film with you. Complete nonsense. And I went away. I didn't quite understand what he was saying when he was talking to me, but it all hit me when I actually thought about it after 10 days. And I just tore up that script and rewrote the whole thing again, completely fresh story and totally different stuff, and that's Pa. And when he was kind of jubilant, then I said, fine. I was quite sure I'd react the next time. I was even more arrogant, but the fact of the matter is, he was the one who actually pushed me to write this. So that's how it happened. Otherwise, you've seen a very, very bad film.
Don't forget, he's a writer's son and he's a blogger. So he knows the writing craft.
Yeah, but...
And I've always believed he's a dormant writer. Blogger to abhi bane. Would you like to say something on that?
No, I just felt that जो कहानी इन्होंने लिखी थी और जो कॉन्सेप्ट सुनाया था, तो कॉन्सेप्चुअली बहुत अच्छा लगता है कि अभिषेक जो है वो आपके बाप का रोल करेंगे और आप उनके बेटे का रोल करेंगे. तो सुनते ही कोई भी आर्टिस्ट जो है वहाँ एक्साइटेड हो जाता है. हाँ, ये तो बड़ी अच्छी बात है. लेकिन मैंने कहा भैया इसे करोगे कैसे? तो उन्होंने कहा नहीं, ये ऐसे एक डिजीज़ है, उसमें आपको कर देंगे. फिर उन्होंने कहानी सुनाई, तो कहानी कुछ हमको हल्की लगी. और आम तौर पे जब एक बार मैं किसी को हाँ बोल देता हूँ तो फिर उससे मैं ज़्यादा बहस नहीं करता हूँ. और मुझे ऐसा लगा कि अगर मैं इस समय इनके साथ बहस करूँगा तो सही नहीं होगा. लेकिन फिर भी बहुत ही प्यार से हमने कहा कि ये थोड़ी सी हल्की फुल्की है. यहाँ पर एक ऐसी फिल्म की पोटेंशियल मुझे दिखाई दे रही है जिसमें हम थोड़ी बहुत गहराई भी ला सकते हैं और वो हल्कापन भी रख सकते हैं, लेकिन थोड़ी सी गहराई और आ सकती है कहानी में. और यही वजह थी कि इन्होंने जा कर के ये दोबारा लिखी. दूसरी मेरी चिंता ये थी कि ये जो प्रोजेरिया से पीड़ित एक बच्चा है, ये देखेगा कैसे. तो फिर इन्होंने बताया कि ये एक हॉलीवुड में एक मेकअप आर्टिस्ट हैं जो कि ऑस्कर विजेता हैं और लॉर्ड ऑफ द रिंग्स वगैरह फिल्में इन्होंने की हैं. और वो तो इन्होंने बहुत सी केस स्टडीज़ की, बहुत से रिसर्च मटेरियल निकाला, उसे हम लोगों ने पढ़ा, देखा. एक कैरेक्टर को फिर हमने चुना कि इस तरह का अगर हमारा लुक हो तो फिर ये सही रहेगा. फिर वो आए, वो टेक्नीशियंस आए लंदन में, उन्होंने पूरा मास्क बनाया. बड़ा ही भयंकर होता है वो. 2-3 घंटे के लिए आपको एकदम बंद कर दिया जाता है प्लास्टर के अंदर. और फिर वो गए वहाँ, वापस लॉस एंजल्स ले गए, वहाँ पर ठीक नहीं लगा, दोबारा आए, फिर मास्क बनाया, तब जाकर के वो प्रोस्थेटिक सिलिकॉन से बनता है. 8 पुर्जे थे उस चेहरे जो आप देखते हैं पाक. 8. एक तो पहला उसका सर, उसके बाद भौहें, फिर आँख के नीचे ये गाल, फिर दूसरा गाल, फिर होठ, नीचे वाली दाढ़ी, गला, नाक, कान, ये सब अलग अलग पुर्जे हैं और ये लगते हैं. और बहुत ही बारीकी का काम होता है इसमें. 4-5 घंटे लग जाते हैं इसे लगाने में. एंड व्हाइल यू हैविंग इट डन, यू कांट मूव, यू कांट ईट, यू कांट स्पीक. 4 घंटे ऐसे ही बैठे रहना पड़ता है और बहुत ही बारीकी से उसको चिपकाते हैं. फिर उसके बाद उसका मेकअप होता है. उसके बाद जाकर के फिर हम लोग शूटिंग करते हैं 5-6 घंटा. फिर वापस आते हैं, 2-2.5 घंटे उसको उतारने में लग जाते हैं. तो बहुत मेहनत लगी उसको उस चेहरे को लाने. और जब सेट पे गए तो सबसे बड़ी मुसीबत ये थी कि औरों को छोटा कैसे दिखाएं, क्योंकि प्रोजेरिया से जो पीड़ित होते हैं उनका सर जो है वो बड़ा हो जाता है, बाल चले जाते हैं, नसें बाहर आ जाती हैं. और तो कई बार सेट के ऊपर जो शॉट्स हम लोग डिज़ाइन करते थे उसमें लगता था कि हम ज़्यादा लंबे लग रहे हैं या ज़्यादा बड़े लग रहे हैं, तो स्पेशल लेंसेज इस्तेमाल करने पड़े और स्पेशल कैमरा एंगल्स. पीसी श्रीराम जो कि बहुत ही अद्भुत कैमरामैन है, उन्होंने बहुत सारे ट्रायल एंड एरर्स किए तब जा कर के. तो कहीं भी आप इस फिल्म में नहीं देखेंगे कि मेरा ओवर शोल्डर शॉट है जहाँ पर मेरा सर के पीछे या मेरे पीठ के पीछे कैमरा, क्योंकि जब मैं कैमरा लेंस के इतने नज़दीक आ जाऊँगा तो मेरा शरीर बहुत बड़ा दिखेगा और हम नहीं चाहते थे कि और जो है वो बड़ा दिखे. और जो सामने वाला कैरेक्टर होता है वो छोटा हो जाता है। तो बहुत ही होशियारी के साथ इसको हर एक सीन को, चाहे वो ट्रॉली हो चाहे वो जूम तो मेरे ख्याल से कहीं इस्तेमाल किया ही नहीं पूरी पिक्चर। एंड ओनली यूज्ड, आई थिंक द मैक्सिमम लेंस यूज्ड वाज a 50, which is like almost a semi close-up lens that you use. उसके नीचे जितने लेंस थे 24, 18 lenses, these are the lenses that we used, and that's how we created what horror was.
You put him in a ponytail in Chinikam, and Tabu told me that you sent first an idea to her in an SMS, and I think that's what you did with him too. And both of them immediately said yes. How did Chinikam happen in your brain? और अभी क्या हो गया है कि चीनी कम जब से हुई है, सब चाय वाले बोल रहे हैं अभी चाय पर कब फिल्म बनेगी, चाय ज़्यादा, फुटबॉल ज़्यादा.
Actually, I had written. I'm not an ad film maker. I'm an ad film writer. I'm an advertising person, not an ad film maker.
That's why there is so much soul in the film.
No, I'd actually worked with him. I'd written a few ads for him where on Parker and Dabur we were working. And I met him for 2-3 times. And I think the second time or maybe it's the first time I met him, I distinctly remember it was the most embarrassing moment of my life, because to write a film for Amitabh Bachchan and narrate it in any other style is impossible. Okay, so we had done about 6 films. I mean, putting him on a flight, said, "Why have a pen? That's not a Parker." So a lot of films in that. So I'd actually gone to his van and I was narrating the script to him. And normally when you narrate an Amitabh Bachchan script either to a client or to anybody else, you can very bravely speak in Amitabh Bachchan's voice because he's not looking. And you can say whatever rubbish you want. But subconsciously what you do whenever you write for this stuff, you start speaking like that in front of him. So I was there sitting and I was narrating the script, forgetting I was saying this to Amitabh Bachchan. And there was stunned silence on the other end. I don't think he remembers it, I remember it, and that affected me a lot. I'll tell you why. So actually I went to the van and I told it to him in my Hindi and his voice. Can you imagine the combination? Awesome. So I told him that stuff and he just gave me one blank look. He always looks very blankly when he's most excited. So he just looks very blankly. And he said, "Yeah, okay." And I could just see that look saying, who is this fellow who comes from nowhere and tells me my script in my voice? Okay, it's that kind of stuff. And I went away. I suddenly realized it and I ran. And I think that affected me and I couldn't do an ad. One day I was, and these thoughts like this, sometimes when you get a little embarrassed, these things keep affecting you. And about 4 or 5 days or a week after that, I was kind of sitting and struggling to do a Lifebuoy ad. And didn't get an idea. But suddenly, because his image was in your head so much, because I got embarrassed in front of Amitabh Bachchan. Suddenly I just got an idea for him saying that he must play this. And the idea was actually that he's old, she's young, but the father-in-law should be younger. So that was the trip. And I just I happened to have his number and I messaged him saying an idea and he told me, "Let's talk." So I went and told him a one-line idea. And I said, "If you're interested, write. If you're interested, I'll write." He said, "Write." So I wrote. I gave it to him. He's saying, "Yeah, fine, let's do it." That's how it happened. So Chinikam was thankfully, because of him, it was a very simple process. That's it.
Actually, when you were giving your incident, something crossed my mind. It's out of context, but I'm going to share it. Mr. Bachchan was not talking to the media for a while, and so in 1990, when he made up with the media, I had gone to interview him. And most of the interview was happening in English, and it was all right. I mean, he was Mr. Bachchan, I was representing a magazine, and the conversation was flowing. And those were days when the media was really harsh on him. They were attacking him on a lot of things. He was in constantly, his detractors were saying that it was time up for him. They were laying his coffin for him. So he was going through a lot of, it was a turbulent phase. So in between, when I asked him something, he suddenly, during the English conversation, spoke in Hindi. And suddenly I forgot that I was a journalist and I became the audience in the theatre because I was hearing Mr. Bachchan speak Hindi for the first time, and I'm also going to be quite smart and repeat exactly what he said, though I don't have his voice or dialogue delivery. कुछ मैंने पूछा कि क्यों इस तरह से something, so he said, किस को बोले, किन को बोले, और अगर बोलते ही जाएंगे तो पूरी एनर्जी जो है वो बोलने में चली जाएगी, तो फिर काम कब करेंगे? How is it? My dialogue is not right. I think now it is time. Pranav is making ishara to me. Pranav and Jimmy are these two young under 30 boys of Enlighten Films. Please take a bow. In fact, I often introduce them as my Mukesh and Anil Ambani, or I predict that they're going to be bigger than them. So Pranav, would you like to come and wrap up the evening? Or whatever has to be done. I think still the award is there. Rang Barsai?
होली है रंग वर्ष एक कल होली है होली ठीक है
Award के बाद?
नहीं
अच्छा।
नहीं रंग वर्ष है
Yeah, it should be Madhusala.
It's rang Barsai.
रंग वर्ष
What we'll do is, we'll take few questions from the audience and please, I have praised you a lot. After you speak, okay. You want to speak first? Okay, then after he speaks, he will guide through the evening. We'll take questions and please let it not be opinion. Ask proper questions.
Sorry for the mess.
Thank you, Mr. Bachchan, for coming. Always in one person's life, one begins his life with small steps, and one day comes when he can scale it up. Today is our day, sir. You made it for us. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you. Good evening from the Taj Enlighten Film Society. I'm sure you enjoyed this conversation. Before we proceed, I would like to thank a few people who have supported the Taj Enlighten Film Society. Manishil Gautam, Jyoti Samajpati, Jimmy Mistry, Niranjan Bhattacharya, Kokil Areen, Hirul Kanakya, Devang Sampat, Girish Wankhede, Shivali, Thomas, Arun Srinivas, Priyanka Ganguly, Ashwat. Two very important people who have worked really very hard to put up this show are Tanvi Shah and Rahul Rao, without whom this event wouldn't have been possible. I would also like to thank the whole team of the Taj Enlighten Film Society. Presented by Brookborn Taj Mahal, the Taj Enlighten Film Society is India's biggest film society, and it is on its way to become the biggest and one of the most credible film societies around the world by creating an international platform which shares and recognizes the best of national and international cinema. Since its inception in 2007, the society has seen many connoisseurs of cinema attend movie screenings and film festivals. We have engaged our audiences in a thought-provoking dialogue on filmmaking. We have many national and international speakers on this platform. All this is done without any commercial motive, only for the love of cinema. Today's conversation was by far the very special one that we have attended in this society. I did it before the conversation happened. Thank you, Mr. Bachchan. Thank you for accepting the Taj Tarif Award. And this award is given to distinguished people working in the field of cinema who have dedicated their life to cinema and have crafted a significant career which has changed or fostered cinema as a medium aesthetically, technologically, economically and artistically. The award has been earlier bestowed upon Mrinal Sen, Javed Akhtar, Wahida Rahman, and we are very, 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 very glad that Mr. Bachchan would be the first male actor to receive this award.
Male actor.
I would like to thank Bhavna Somaya, without whom this event would not have been possible. She has been a guru and a mentor in a true sense for our organization. Bhavna Somaya has done 2 books on Amitabh Bachchan, and as readers and future generations also, we are very grateful to her because eventually time moves on and history remembers the written and the recorded work. Thank you, ma'am, for what you have written about Mr. Bachchan. Last page. Honestly speaking, this is a pure partnership between Brookborn Taj Mahal and Enlighten Film Society. You might be thinking that it's a brand, or he's speaking about sponsors, but it's not that. It's a pure partnership. We just began and they supported us. They've held our hands throughout, and without Brookborn Taj Mahal and the team who have worked for it, it wouldn't have been possible at all. They believe in the finest form of tea, and we believe in the finest form of cinema, and that's how we started working together. And today we are moving towards greater heights, and we are going to various cities across India with our film society. Now on this platform, when we are awarding Mr. Bachchan, we have amongst us the Executive Director Foods, of India's largest FMCG company, Mr. Srijit Mishra, and I would like him to please come here and please present the award to him. May I have the award, please? And please, if you could speak a few words, just a couple of sentences, sir, please, at least.
What can I say? I'm absolutely delighted to be here with you, sir, and present this award to you. Just to say that, like you, which is ever changing yet never changing, this brand tries to be with you, and I'm sure as we go forward, we'll see a lot more of you in the decades to come. God bless.
Please get the mics below for the media guys. Please use the PR people right there.
अमित जी यहाँ राइट में सर जी अमित जी यहाँ पे सर आप आता है प्लीज सर जी सामने सर जी यहाँ पे सर प्लीज फॉलो सर जी यहाँ पे हाँ एक सेकंड अमित जी बैठ जाइए प्लीज बैठ जाइए सर एक बात सर टीवी की मोर क्या
So, for the questions, please.
Sir, just for the media, for the
TV.
सर और एक बार इलेक्ट्रॉनिक्स मीडिया के लिए प्लीज
अभी कोई खड़ा नहीं रहेगा बैठ
Mr. Bachchan has agreed to take questions from the audience, and I would like Balki to ask the first question because I have asked too many questions. And you guys get ready with your sensible questions, Patapata.
I think I'll save my question. Yeah, I'll save my question.
You are free to direct questions to Mr. Bachchan or to Balki.
Mr. Bachchan, you are so articulate. Do you plan to write your autobiography?
No.
What are the current plans for ABCM?
We are AB Corp. We continuously keep looking for good scripts and ideas what we want to do next. We haven't found one yet. We're just living in the glory of past. But hopefully very soon we'll get something.
Sir, I have one. How can I approach you?
Just come across.
If someone has climbed Mount Everest, no other mountain can hold that lure to him. What motivates you every day? You have achieved so much. Still, there is so much energy in you. What motivates you?
Mount Everest,
Sholay, Diwar.
These are just. I think that if any artist were to believe that he's achieved some height, that would be a terrible day for him. I think we should never get satisfied with what we do.
So, very
We should always, I think that the day any artist were to say that I'm satisfied and this is the very best, then that would be, he would kill the creativity within. I hope that I can.
ऊपर वाला अगर आपसे कुछ मांगे तो आप एक वो चीज क्या मांगेंगे?
मैं ये मांगूंगा कि मैं इनका प्रश्न उत्तर पहले दे दूं। I think it would kill an artist if he was to believe that, I've reached some kind of position. I would like to be challenged every day, and I hope that I have sufficient energy within me to take up that challenge. Keep myself.
Before anybody, one minute. I think all those media guys want to put their mics here, no? But can you do it quietly without interrupting the flow of the conversation?
Can I please come across and take your autograph right now?
Yeah.
Excuse me, sir. So there are 5 movies which are really outstanding. I mean, from the time I've seen your films. One is Akhipat, I've seen it maybe 100 times. The second is Aks, which was a fabulous film, but maybe people may not understand the concept. The third film was Black, and the fourth film is Pa. I mean, how did you prepare for these roles, sir? Can you just share them with us?
Agnipath, I think we just spoke about I think he was a character that was tortured very early in life. The pain of being all alone in his strife and struggle was symbolized by the time when he took his father's dead body on that path. That was the main street, the main path of that village. And I don't know whether many people observed it or not, but that symbolically that path was used in the entire film at every crucial point. Everything that happened to this character happened on that path. Whether it was the death of his father, whether he got no support from taking his father's dead body, he drove it one way alone. When he came back to the village and found it all destroyed, he came back on that same path. In the climax, when he had to go and save his mother, he actually ran the gauntlet. Having been in a situation where he was tortured very early on in his life, there was always distrust, anger within him. And therefore, everything that he did, or the way he behaved, I had to keep the fact that he was a tortured soul, and somewhere he was looking for some kind of compensation in life, whether it was through his actions, his deeds, or whatever. And that's how the character was on. Aks was, as you rightly say, a very, very complex role. And it's unfortunate, as you say, a lot of people didn't understand it. But when Rakesh and me were discussing the subject, he had the concept in mind. But I think what I told him was that in Hindus, when we cremate somebody, there is something that we speak always, which remained in my mind. कि भगवान इनकी आत्मा को शांति दे। और आत्मा की शांति के लिए हम लोग हमेशा प्रार्थना करते। वो बात कहीं हमारे ज़हन में थी। तो मैंने कहा कि जब तक ये अक्स में इसकी आत्मा को शांति नहीं मिलेगी, ये बेचैन रहेगा और ये घूमेगा फिरेगा। So that point was brought in, and we tried to incorporate it in the film. Somehow people never caught it. What was the other film? Black, yes. Black again was a huge challenge, and the absolute genius of Sanjay Leela Bhansali for having created that character. He was also a very frustrated professor who had failed because he was unable to create the kind of life he wanted to create for students who were physically challenged. And I think that in that frustration he gets an offer to look after a girl who is physically challenged, and not wanting to lose again this time was what his desire was. So every effort that he made was filled with, yes, wanting to teach the child, but at the same time the fear that I hope that she continues to learn and I may not have to face another failure. So every time he burst out into a temper or he got annoyed, वो हमेशा उसके मन में ये था कि मुझे हारना नहीं है कि कहीं ना कहीं वो गुस्सा भी था उसका, वो उसके अंदर से इसीलिए निकल रहा था क्योंकि उसको डर था ये मेरा आखिरी मौका है, अगर यहाँ भी मैं हार गया तो जीवन से हार जाऊँ। तो इस तरह से उसको हमने डिज़ाइन किया। फिर जब वो वृद्ध हो गया, उसकी याददाश्त चली गई, उसे अल्जाइमर्स हो गया, उसके बाद भी कहीं ना कहीं उनके जहन में एक बात वो रही कि मैं इसे एक ग्रेजुएट पढ़ना देखना चाहिए। तो जब वो ग्रेजुएट बन करके आए तो और बहुत सी बातें भी उसके मन में घुसी, लेकिन एक एक्शन जो उसका था, वो जब नाचते थे, जब भी कोई एक अचीवमेंट होता था उसकी, वो उनको याद था। ऐसा मैंने कहीं पढ़ा था कि you know, when people grow old and they get ill and they lose their sensibilities, slowly their brain starts dying and they can't remember, they can't see. But strangely, it is their hearing power that remains till the very end. And many people feel that 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 person is dead and gone. But in fact, science has said that the hearing faculty is still alive. And that is why there have been many examples where doctors keep telling you, even though the patient is not moving or is not reacting, just keep talking to them because they can hear them. And we kept that element in the portion when he was going through Alzheimer's. He could hear. He may not have known what was going on, but somewhere he could hear that moment that he needed to share with this little girl. So that's how we designed it.
Sir, last year also. Last year, diabetes India was present for a year.
Sir, three favorite films of yours besides where you're starring? Anywhere in world cinema. Your favorite films? I've read somewhere 2001 Space Odyssey. Somewhere you're like.
Yeah, 2001 was an incredible film. It was just unbelievable conceptually. Gone with the Wind has been an eternal favorite of mine. The Godfather series. Karas Kapoor, Gurudas. These are some of the films that remain with me.
Sir,
मैं एक बार आपके पैर छू सकता हूँ सर, बहुत important है सर। मैं वो fact बता रहा हूँ, I'm asking time to this.
We do something.
Sir, you have to do this before you go, sir.
Yeah,
Very
okay.
important.
सर आप जहाँ हैं वो आम इंसान के लिए एक सपना होता है और ईश्वर आप पर कृपा कर रहे हैं और करते रहें, ऐसी हमारी प्रार्थना है। बस मैं ये जानना चाहता हूँ, अगर ईश्वर खुद आके आपसे बोलें कि कोई एक चीज़ आप मांगिए तो वो क्या मांगिए?
बड़ा मुश्किल होगा। क्या मांगे उनसे?
सब कुछ तो दिया
नहीं ऐसा। जीवित रखें बस, बाकी सब संभाल लें।
So if someone asking you, can I take the opportunity?
Sir,
Please don't ask opportunities, please, from now on.
okay, my nephew wants to understand the most challenging part of the PA when you are working.
It's the makeup.
No, he will not understand makeup because what more difficult scene. He has seen the movie, but he is not here.
You won't understand makeup, I mean understand the scene? No, I'm not understanding.
No, see, he asked me to ask which scene was difficult for you in PA.
Oh, okay.
To perform.
We don't look upon it as a trial or test like a difficult or anything like that. I think that even just sitting idle is a very difficult thing to do, and not do anything. Balki is an excellent example of that. He doesn't allow you to do anything. He just said, don't do anything. Just sit there. Just look. Don't play around with your hands. Don't give too much effort in your dialogue. Just say it as plainly as you can. So if you watch Chidi Kam and if you watch Pa, you will find that element of not too outrageously open or playing to the galleries, nothing like that. It's just very, very natural, very normal. There were many times that when Balki and me were working together in Pa and in Chidi Kam, I would do a scene in a particular way and he says, no, you're putting too much effort into it. And just say it almost deadpan. And all those things work because in real life, I think we don't exaggerate it in the manner that you see sometimes in cinema.
Sir,
thank you.
Excuse me 1 minute. The media people have to ask few questions. Can't they just have a priority? My media friends want to ask you questions. आपको लाइट चाहिए या प्रश्न पूछना है, नहीं तो दूसरे को पूछने दो। क्या चाहिए?
Sir, I don't have any film.
Sir, I want to ask one question. Sir, you have got so many awards, so many, you might also not know the number. How do you feel that, our organization giving you this Taj Tarif Awards? How do you really feel, honestly?
I think artists are always hungry for recognition, hungry for awards. I will not deny somebody when they want to give it to me, but I will not die for it. If you don't give me one, I'll be okay. But if you give it to me, I'll accept it. Great.
I just like to ask a question. Can I
Sir,
please?
where do you see the future of Indian cinema? So there are a lot of
Hopefully.
India. We are
we have many members are here who are young filmmakers, and we want to know what both of you think that the future is of Indian cinema.
I think the future is very bright. I think
In terms of drama, in terms of which genre I'm talking about.
we're all moving through a phase which is very developed. Communication has become so good that we can keep in touch with everything that's happening in the rest of the world. I think Indian cinema is progressing so rapidly that it is perhaps the fastest growing cinema in the world. We are reaching out to various different parts of the world and the countries to get a lot of appreciation. I'm absolutely amazed every time that I go overseas or abroad, the kind of attention, the kind of recognition that we all get, even in countries where you can perhaps have never imagined that we would be recognized. That just shows that there is some strength in our cinema which everybody likes. It's just that we have the handicap of language. English is a more universal language, and therefore Hollywood is seen everywhere. But you'll be happy to know, or surprised to know, that the number of people that watch Indian cinema is about 3.8 billion people worldwide. And the number of people that watch Hollywood cinema is 3.2. So we are still
I can't keep standing. Okay, I shall be rude for a change. I've been trying to be polite. Sir, this way, please. Hi. This is from an actor's point of view. I'm one of the many actors in the city who are here purely because of you, and I don't know whether that's a good thing or a bad thing. Either way, the credit goes to you. From the keen observation that I would say that I have of your work as an actor, as a person, as an icon, that there is very distinct moderation and alteration in each of these phases that you see. Even within the same decade, I see a change in the Amitabh Bachchan between a Zanjeer and a Diwar, not just simply in the way that you're emoting, but also in the way that you walk, or you run, or you just stand. And without getting into details, do you constantly reinvent yourself, look at yourself, and work on things that you'd want to change? Or is it a process that happens naturally because we're talking about 4 decades of being Mr. Bachchan?
Thank you so much, and I myself have recognized and seen your work, so I want to compliment you on that.
I know.
Your voice.
Yeah. We saw you in a very famous film with
Blood
Diamond, and felt very proud that we have somebody from our country.
Somebody needs to give me a recording of this moment. Honestly.
So many congratulations.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
But yeah, I think that at the time of narration of the character, that's the time when you start forming your opinion. So when a director or a narrator like Balki will sit in front of me and narrate a story to me, many a times we actually drift away from the story and we start imbibing the character and start thinking how we're going to do it. And which is why many a times the very first narration, at least to me, never makes any impact. Because we're very selfish in thinking about how we're going to play this character, and we start imagining ourselves, what am I going to wear, what am I going to do, how am I going to react in this situation. And that's when the formation happens. Then when you get onto the set and you see the ambience, you see the properties, you see the people that are going to be working with you, you come with your makeup, you get your dialogues, you get your scene, and somehow something clicks automatically, and you adopt that posture, you adopt that way of running or the style of talking. A lot of it has to do with the kind of atmosphere that your director is going to build around you. If he's going to place people around you which are not going to react the way you want them to, because I feel that my performance would be zero if the person opposite me was not delivering properly. He could destroy my performance. I could be, saying the best lines in the whole screenplay. But if the reaction from my colleague is not correct, then my performance will become zero. So it's very important to have the right artists with you, the right ambience. If you're going to be shooting inside a room, the properties, the furniture, all this goes to in making up your mind as to how you should be behaving. So when I did Pa, for example, 90% of what I was going to do or how I was going to behave was already taken care of by the makeup. The speech, I remember Balki saying, you'll have a problem with the speech, but you speak your lines as you do normally. And then in my mixing, I will tweak it and make it almost sound like a child. And then once I put on my teeth and put the whole makeup on, automatically my face started speaking in this manner. And I said, how about this? And he said, yeah, okay, let's go with this. So we never needed to do anything technically to change my voice. So a lot of it happens once you've got all these extraneous properties around you, which help you get into that character. I think it's very important that, yes, you know what you're going to do, but I think it's equally important to know what the people around you are going to do, what the properties around you are, and what the director is going to tell you and how to do it.
Sir.
I have a question for Balki.
A legendary. If somebody makes a film on a legendary like Fidel Castro or Nelson Mandela, would you like to do?
I don't know. I don't think I'm fit to do Nelson Mandela. And I doubt very much if I'm fit to do Fidel Castro, because they're huge personalities.
But if you can do a film like Pa, a character like Oro, then definitely.
Yeah. Okay, you write something, ma'am. I'll give it a try.
Sir.
As an actor, how would you describe this? What are your strengths and weaknesses in your opinion?
I'm very weak as an actor, and I'm still learning. And I hope that I continue learning, and I look out for people like Balki and others who will keep goading me and telling me a few things.
So objectively.
So it's Holi tomorrow. Which is your favorite song? I mean, yours only. And we heard that you're not gonna.
I lived Holi with my parents, and Rang Barsi that you heard in Silsila, and Holi Khele that you hear in Bagban. They were all songs that my father sang right when we were very young in Allahabad, where I was born. So they remained with me, and then we translated it into the film.
Sir, from what we know of you, I feel that you don't show your anger. I just want to know what is your conviction on that. Because so many times you kind of just let go and you get angry, and then I don't know, some of us do, and we believe that things will work. But from what we know of you, we've seen that you kind of don't show your anger. You must have some conviction on that. I'd like to know, as it would be like.
क्या करेंगे गुस्सा दिखा के? सामने वाले को समझना चाहिए ना मेरा गुस्सा।
सर
अगर वो समझेगा नहीं तो फिर फायदा क्या है? अपने आप को बर्बाद करने।
सर आपकी कोई और ख्वाहिश है कि मैं और एक ऐसा रोल कर सकूं जो आज तक मुझे रोल करने को नहीं मिला है?
ये मैं चाहूँगा कि कोई ऐसा डायरेक्टर हो जो मेरे सामने कोई चुनौती रखे। मुझे स्वयं तो मालूम नहीं है कि
आपकी खुद की कोई ख्वाहिश?
अपनी कोई ख्वाहिश नहीं है भाई साहब। मुझे जो दे दे लोग खाने को वो खा लूँगा।
Last question. Do you regret in your life कि आपको ये गलती नहीं करनी चाहिए थी?
एक भी चीज़ मैं रिग्रेट नहीं करता अपने जीवन में।
Very good answer, sir.
Balki, can you repeat the lines in Mr. Bachchan's language which you presented to him?
Yes. Yeah.
We really want to hear that.
I would really love to, but I just can't. I can't even say thank you in his voice now. It's gone, broke.
बच्चन साहब हम आपको इतने साल से देखते हैं, आपके आशिक हैं, और मैं ये जानना चाहता हूँ कि 70s की फिल्म से और अब तक की फिल्म में आपकी ये एनर्जी बरकरार रही है और आपकी समय की पाबंदी भी बरकरार रही है, इसका रहस्य क्या है?
भाई साहब ने सही बोला। क्या बोला?
Recite some lines. मधुशाला।
मन का हो तो अच्छा और ना हो तो और भी अच्छा। थोड़ा प्रकाश डालिए।
अपनी स्कूलिंग करने गया नैनीताल शोर कॉलेज 3 साल बिताया सीनियर कैम्ब्रिज किया बोर्डिंग में पहली बार गया, स्टेज पर काम करने का, थिएटर वेटर करने का उस ज़माने से शौक था। तो स्कूल में जो एनुअल डे होता है उसमें जो एक कार्यक्रम होता है वो एक एनुअल प्ले होता है, उसमें मैंने भाग लिया। और पहले वर्ष जब भाग लिया तो लोगों ने कहा कि हाँ अच्छा काम कर। अगले साल जब काम किया तो उसमें बेस्ट एक्टर की ट्रॉफी थी जिसका नाम था कैंडल कप। जेफरी कैंडल, शशि कपूर जी के फादर इन लॉ, उनकी पत्नी के पिता, वो शेक्सपियर आना चलाते थे, शेक्सपियर के प्लेस भारतवर्ष में भ्रमण करते थे, उनके नाम से वो कप था, वो मैंने जीता। और आखिरी वर्ष में जब फिर से मैं रिहर्सल कर रहा था प्ले की, तो ऐसा माना जा रहा था, जिस तरह से लोग बोल रहे थे कि इस साल भी आपको बेस्ट एक्टर कप मिलेगा। फाउंडर्स डे के एक दिन पहले मुझे मीजल्स हो गए और स्कूल ने कहा कि आप प्ले नहीं कर सकते। बहुत ही निराश हुआ मैं और मुझे हॉस्पिटल में भर्ती कर दिया। भर्ती मतलब हॉस्पिटल जो है हमारे स्कूल के कंपाउंड में था, और जहाँ मैं हॉस्पिटल में था वहाँ अपने बिस्तर से वो नीचे जो हमारा हॉल था जहाँ पर नाटक होने वाला था और सब लोग आ रहे थे देखने, वो सब देख सकता था, सुन सकता था। बाबूजी भी आए थे क्योंकि वो फाउंडर्स वीक में हम अपने पेरेंट्स को बुलाते हैं बच्चों से मिलने के लिए, तो वो भी आए। और जब उनको पता चला कि मैं इस तरह से बीमार हूँ तो उनको लगा कि मैं बहुत निराश हूँगा, तो वो जब प्ले शुरू होने वाला था उससे 5 मिनट पहले आकर के मेरे साथ अस्पताल में मेरे बिस्तर के बगल में बैठ गए और बातें करने लगे मुझसे, क्योंकि वो मेरा मन जो है वो अलग करना चाह रहे थे। और उसी समय उन्होंने मुझे ये बात समझाई कि अगर तुम्हारे मन का हो तो अच्छा, मन का ना हो तो ज़्यादा अच्छा। पहले मुझे समझ में नहीं आया कि ज़्यादा अच्छा कैसे हो सकता है। उन्होंने कहा जो तुम्हारे मन का नहीं हो रहा है वो ईश्वर के मन का होता है, और ईश्वर जो है वो मेरा तुम्हारे लिए अच्छा ही चाहेगा। इसलिए
Rajesh Khanna, yeah. Sir, from Dilip Kumar to Dharmendra to Rajesh Khanna and now to Shah Rukh Khan, only one name and that is yours, that is persistent and still will be. So what is the actual thing that along through these decades that you actually wanted from yourself that still keeps you for going more and more?
ये बार बार क्यों पूछते रहते हैं यार। मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि मैं अपने आप को बड़ा भाग्यशाली समझता हूँ कि अवसर मिल रहा है मुझे इन लोगों के साथ काम करने का। तो अगर ईश्वर ने शरीर दिया है और हिम्मत दी है तो मैं काम कर लेता हूँ। एक न एक दिन तो ये काम बंद होना ही है, तो जब तक चल रहा है चलने दो भैया।
Thank you, sir.
अमिताभ बच्चन वर्सेस अमिताभ बच्चन। आप उनको एक पदार्थ बनाए। मैं तो एक इंसान हूँ।
Sir, how do you take your failures? How do you take your failures?
The lady with the hand.
Yes, thank you, sir. Sir, which role you played the best in your real life, according to you?
In my real life?
Yes.
Oh gosh. I'd like to believe that I was a good son to my father, and that I'm a good father to my son.
अगर वो फिल्म नहीं चलती है या जैसे बिगिनिंग ऑफ योर करियर जब आपकी लगातार फिल्में नहीं चली, हाउ डिड यू टेक योर फेलियर एंड हाउ डिड यू रीच टू दिस सक्सेस?
उस जमाने में भी नहीं, अब भी नहीं चलती भाई साहब। तो निराश होते हैं हम, लेकिन कहीं ना कहीं ये मन में ठान लेते हैं कि अब अगली फिल्म में और मेहनत करेंगे। इस फिल्म में क्या गलतियाँ की वो गलतियाँ न दोहराई जाएं, और कोशिश करते हैं, क्योंकि ये कोई कह नहीं सकता कि क्या सफल होने वाला है क्या नहीं सफल होने वाला है।
So do you play the musical instrument? This time you're not planning to celebrate Holi. If this is true, then why?
Yeah, that's for personal reasons, ma'am. There's been a death of a very close family friend, so we're not celebrating Holi this year.
जैसा कि हम जानते हैं अभी भी बॉलीवुड में writers have not
In
got that.
Indian film industry.
Indian film industry. You are one of the actors who have always accepted that if I am today like this, it's because of the writer who have created brilliant characters for yourself.
Right.
So as you have reached a level, now every word of yours has become something like, something, somebody go by that. You have a corporation. What your corporation is taking any initiative to promote writers, to come up with writers like Salim Javed writers like Prakash Mehra. Is there any initiative you are taking, sir?
When we formed ABCL in 1995, there was a history and a story behind it. I used to go sometimes on private visits to the United States of America. And every time I went there, right from say the late 80s to the early 90s, I would get invitations from all the top entertainment corporations, Warner Brothers, Fox, Sony, MGM, to come and meet them. And I used to wonder why would they want to meet me, and I just ignored that. And then they would write me very detailed letters, you know, we want to see you and we want to talk to you and this and that. On one of my visits in say 92 or 93, Warner Brothers wrote a very long letter and I went across and met them. And I was shocked at the amount of information they had about India, about the Indian entertainment industry, every little detail. And they had a complete dossier on who I was, what my films were, what work I'd done, the directors, the films, the stories, the release pattern, everything. And it was absolutely shocking for me. And so I asked them what this is, and they said, no, we just like to keep a record of what is happening in the rest of the world. The title of that letter was India, the New Frontier. And I had a lawyer friend of mine, and I took this letter to him and I said, what does this all mean? He said, Amitabh, please go back to Bombay and get your house in order. The Americans are coming. And, you know, I came back and I formed a corporation, which was the first attempt in trying to corporatize the entertainment industry. We were laughed at that time. You know, the entire industry, which has been a very individually run industry. It's almost like a mama papa operation. They laughed at the idea, ye tai wala jo hai, ye kaise chalayenge our film industry. But today, we are in 2010, and we have at least 19 corporations, entertainment corporations that are listed in the stock exchange, following the same pattern that ABCL was formulated on. At that point of time, because entertainment is a very, very unique, Indian entertainment is an extremely unique entertainment format. I doubt if anywhere in the world there is this kind of format. You have films, you have music in it, you have content from film, television. 85% of television content is film oriented. You have, our music goes onto mobile, it goes into radio. You have concerts, you have events. It's all under one umbrella. And at that point of time, we designed our corporation to encompass all the different tributaries of the Indian entertainment. And I always, at that time, insisted that in order for this umbrella to be alive, we must encourage fresh talent and fresh inputs. And at that time, we set about having contests to get in new talent, both in the acting department and in the writing department, in the editing, all kinds of departments. So it was like almost a school. Unfortunately, due to certain bad decisions that we took, our corporation went down. And all these wonderful ideas that we had to get rid of them. But I do feel that there are many institutions still of these 19, 20 corporations that are existing who are encouraging writers, who are encouraging fresh talent. And I'm sure that if you were to go there or to put in an application or even write to them, I'm sure that there will be people who would want to, you know, listen to a new writer, a fresh talent. Because I think that the way forward is to encourage fresh talent. And I think that there is a huge amount of opportunity amongst the youngsters today.
बच्चन जी कल होली है, कल क्या प्रतीक्षा में पहले की तरह होली मनेगी?
वो बता दिया मैंने, हमारे एक बहुत ही घनिष्ठ मित्र हैं, उनके परिवार में देहांत हो गया, इसलिए होली नहीं मना रहे हैं.
Have you given up on those dreams on ABCOP? I mean, the dreams that you had dreamed on ABCL. Have you given up? I mean, have you given up the full set of dreams, and now you have decided to go on independent?
Yeah. No. Once the corporation went down, we went into the red. A lot of money was owed to creditors, people that had worked with us, we had to pay them, and we had no money. I had no personal money either. I was bankrupt. In fact, I was wanting to talk about it when we saw some of the clips, in particular Mohabbatein. Mohabbatein came about because I got up one morning and I was completely bankrupt. All my houses had all been attached. All our property was attached. They were legal. We had 51 legal cases against us from banks, from investors. It was a horrid situation. And I just got up one morning and said, what can I do? I can act. So let me go and act. And I walked across to Yash Chopra's house, which is just behind my place. And I said, I don't have a job, give me a job. And he gave me Mohabbatein. And that's how it all started. And then I worked, and then KBC came, and we earned money, and revived the company and paid back everybody, whatever money I owed to every single person. I personally had to pay. But the learning graph there was that we are not capable of managing management. I'm not a businessman. I knew that we needed to do this because we needed to bring accountability. We needed to bring projections. We needed to bring proper planning into the system of making films and entertainment. But all that was fine. In order to execute that, people said, you hire people from the corporate world. So we went to all the topmost institutions, Hindustan Lever, and all the big companies, and got hopefully the best talent here.
That was the wrong decision.
Well, I would not, discredit them. They were all very honorable people. But the fact is that they were dealing with entertainment for the first time. So when they came in, the entire business of entertainment for them was